Do you know what that sign is that I just showed you? Do you know that that is the international sign for help? If someone has been kidnapped, or in a situation where they're being held against their will, in a relationship to where you think they can walk away at any time, I'm here to tell you that is not always the case. I have been there. Hi, I'm Tammy. The name of my channel is TNT Grace and Grit, my husband Johnny. Today's video is very serious. It's not always the case that you could be in a relationship with someone and you can just walk away. And a lot of people think that, and it's a very huge misconception. I at one time was in a relationship for about 6 years, to where no, I wasn't being held against my will as far as a gun being held to my head or being physically abused. However, I was struck once and choked once. I really don't want to get into that right now. But if someone is holding you against your will, doesn't always mean that you are afraid of them. But maybe you're afraid for your family. Maybe that person has threatened your family to you. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot with human trafficking, even with the younger children. It's not always girls, to where they are threatened that if they don't do what they're told, that their family will be killed. They will never see their family again. Maybe it's women who have been took for human trafficking or for whatever reason, and they are told, you'll never see your children again. You'll never see your parents again. You'll never see whoever again. I will move you away to Timbuktu, and that's happened too. So, and the thing about it is, sometimes when you're with that person, everybody else thinks that person is just hunky-dory and the best thing since sliced bread. And that's not always true either. Use your gut feeling with people. If they don't give you eye contact, there's probably something going on in that relationship. So always check for people's hands to see what's going on. And as usual, I have notes, and I'm going to ask for you, if you work in a restaurant, to find your state's trafficking sign and print it out, because each state has their own, I want to say phone number, but this is National Human Trafficking Hotline. And I'm going to put this up to the camera so that you can write that down. You can always call 911 or call this phone number. It's 1-888-373-7888. National Human Trafficking Hotline. So the signs that they have on here are not allowed to speak for yourself or theirself, been abused or branded, not in control over their own travel documents, being threatened, coerced, or constrained. These are things sometimes that you have to really pay attention to. So again, the hand sign. And they will sometimes put this behind their back, or if they have their arm around somebody, might even turn their wrist backwards. Watch for it. And it might be done fast. The little videos that I've seen about people with kids and some with women is they dial 911 on their phone, and they run up and they grab that person or that child, and they show the person who had the phone dialing 911. That is totally up to you if you want to do that. but at least call and report it, and do what you can, please, to help the person that's being held against their will. I am begging you for that. All right. And like I said, I do have notes because this is a very extremely close, important matter in my heart. Very close to my heart. So, some other red flags. I'm going to put some more glasses on, which is going to let my bangs fall, but it's okay. Red flags to stop human trafficking. Chronic runaway, truant, homeless youth have goods or services that they cannot afford. Excessive amount of cash. Carries multiple hotel keys. Signs of branding, tattoos, jewelry. I always had expensive jewelry. Restricted and or scripted communications. Physical injuries or signs of abuse. Lying about age, false identification, and or inconsistencies in the stories. Appears scared or nervous, may not make eye contact. Lack of knowledge about where they are and why. Signs of psychological trauma and abuse, anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, panic attacks, or lack of emotion. Flat affect. Mine was flat affect. And I wasn't allowed to make eye contact with anyone. I was not being human trafficked, whatever. But, yeah. I was with a narcissist who controlled my whole life. Who kept me away from my children and my mother and would have me every now and then to call someone to check in. The only one I was actually allowed to talk to almost daily was my best friend. And thank you so much, bestie, for being there for me. And I don't really know why that was, but he let me. Typically has someone with them at all times. This person may seem controlling or constantly have their arm around you and acting loving. Yeah. All right, signs for help. This is one that I actually came up with on my own because so many times I thought I wish, because at the time when I was under this control, this international sign of help that I was aware of I wasn't aware of. I don't think it was even out at the time. But I remember being at restaurants or going through drive-thrus and thinking, I just wish I could tell somebody to help me. So I came up with this out of my own thought, and I never want to say that. I like to say that God gives me God-inspired ideas. But let's say you're in a restaurant and you're a waitress or a server, and they have their menu open, okay? Now, I can't sit here and hold 2 pages and do what I want to do, but just pretend that I have 2 pages, or maybe it's just a 1 page, and the person they're with is directly across them, so they're ordering. Like I said, now that person's across from them, so they're going, I would like to have the chicken. Okay, see my hand? And sweet tea. Thank you so much. And that might be the only time that they get to even have any kind of chance to say anything. Or maybe their hands are down in their lap. So, you can always, your server, just kind of, you don't have to like look straight down in their crotch area or anything, but kind of glance down in their lap and see if their hands are doing this. Now, if they're doing something like this, like I would do this a lot of times because I do have, like, my hands are cold, they'll hurt. So make sure, like, usually their thumbs are outside if that's what they're doing. It's like their hands are hurting. But if it's, you're seeing them literally put that thumb down first and that. I won't do that when my hands hurt because that hurts even more. I will take my hands and stretch them out like this when they hurt. But yeah, I'm not going to do that because that, like I said, that pulls the muscle and hurts even more. So you're not going to make a mistake. And if you do, you do. I would rather be safe than sorry. So let's say you're going through the drive-thru. And so Let's say, okay, the person that needs help is driving, and you look at, maybe they put their hands in their hair. Kind of watch with that hands going down like that. But they put it beside their head or behind their head so the person they're with can't see them doing it. Check to see if that thumb is down and if that's what they're actually doing. Say the person that's holding them or whatever is ordering or picking up their order from the window, giving you the money. While they're talking to you, maybe the person behind them is going. And if you look and that person that's with them turns around, they're not going to be able to sit there and just keep doing it. It's going to have to be a quick thing. So if the person turns around and looks at them, they're going to have to look back at you to get the rest of their order, or if you say something, or say something to them on purpose to make them turn around and look at you. And they turn around, maybe that person will do it again real quick. If something like that happens, take note of what the driver is wearing, what kind of car. Is it a car? Is it a truck? Is it old? Is it new? What color is it? And once that car goes on, you tell somebody in the restaurant, or you run and you write down the license plate number, get whatever information you can, and have someone call 911. Whether you do it, whether your manager does it, tell your manager about it. If you're the manager, please, I am begging you, please call 911 and report that. Even if you have to say, I'm not 100% sure, but could you please check it out? And if those cops don't do it, guess what? It's on them. But you did what you could do. And take note of that car and that person. Maybe they'll come through again. And maybe they'll do it again. So just take note. And if they happen to come through by themselves, because every now and then, they get out by themselves probably, ask, did you give the international sign of help when you were here the other day? Let me help you. All I can do is ask you and beg to you from the bottom of my heart to help, please. And I'm just going to drop it off in your lap at that. So that's the restaurant and the drive-thru. Stadium events. So whether it's a concert or tractor pull or the Gravedigger things, they have events, state fair, county fair, free concerts, whatever. You don't have to constantly not have a good time by constantly scanning everybody. But if you happen to see something that you think doesn't look right, if you see someone whose eyes are staying kind of low and they're not allowed to look at anybody, kind of maybe just keep an eye on and see. And then if that person does happen to look at you, the one that looks like whatever, nod at her or look at her like, give her the idea, are you okay? And even if she looks away or goes on, I'm not asking you to follow her around, but hopefully she'll find a way to find you again and maybe give you that sign, or maybe she'll say no. Or shake her head no. I don't know. Help. If a child, please specifically watch that child to see if they need help. I'd rather be wrong and nothing be wrong with that child than to always wonder and that child's going home and being mistreated in the 1000th worst way possible. Wouldn't you? Retail stores, public transportations. Just keep your eye on people. You don't have to constantly be staring at people all the time, but I think we've all seen someone who didn't quite look right, that looked uncomfortable, and you could tell they were being controlled, or maybe even the person's controlling them without even trying to hide it. Some people do. Some people just think it makes them look all big and bad and tough. It don't. If you're watching this and you're having somebody under control, shame on you. Because what's hidden in the dark always comes out in the light. God will make you pay. You will pay. But just keep your eyes open in retail stores and in public transportation, places like that. I think that's all that I had to say on that. I am very passionate about it, as you can tell. So you can be held against your will and not be physically restrained or have a gun to your head, but there's other ways. They will find ways to control you, and they know what works, and they will. It'll work. So that's all I have to say. Again, the number is, let me have it again up here. So do a screenshot or write it down, put it in your phone. You can either call 911 or the National Human Trafficking Hotline, 1-888-373-7888. Screenshot this if you need to. International sign. Thumb in, fingers go down. Please keep your eyes open. I love you. Pray for everyone who needs help. And if you are the one that can help them, God bless you. God bless you. Remember to always be beautiful. Bye for now. I love you.